All right, let's go.
All right, well, Smooth 98.1 Love Music, Love Life. I am Ayo Mairo-Ese. It's today, Friday, and time for Tech Friday edition of Business Express 981. Joining me this morning, I have Rotus. Morning, Rotus. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. All right, good morning to you. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning to our ever reliable Fisayo.
Excellent. Good morning, our ever reliable Fisayo. Fisayo, morning. How are you today?
I'm very well. Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, Rotus. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning,
All
everyone tuning in from all over the world.
Fantastic. Yes. Thank you very much. Now, for those who are streaming from all over the world, you can join the conversation by watching live on YouTube, youtube.com/smooth981FM Lagos. You can also send us a WhatsApp message, 0809 444 0981 is the number to send your WhatsApp questions, comments, and contributions. Now, Rotus, we have a number of things to get through, hopefully time permitting.
Ayo, you didn't say you can follow us on Twitter. You didn't say you can follow us on Smooth FM. No, come on.
Did you not? Fisayo, have you been living under a rock? Just in case you didn't know, we are not on Twitter anymore. Of course, I know you know. But it's good to have you. I'm glad that you're on the show today. Rotus, please, over to you.
Yes, I mean, lots to discuss. The president's interview yesterday, the first one given in how many years? He was asked about Twitter and he said, I'm keeping that one in my pockets. I mean, with everything that's going on, Fisayo, what did you make of that answer?
I mean, it's keeping it in his pocket. That's all. I guess it doesn't have an answer for us. I guess the policy was not thought through. I'm not sure what happened. I mean, I'm sure what happened. Someone just felt, okay, yeah, let's just do this. It's the way they do, right? So I think it's what it is, right? So it's keeping it in his pocket. It's keeping it in his pocket. But of course, I mean, on a broader note, right? I'm sure I have a less popular opinion around exactly what was going on. I don't think the president's action was right, and neither do I think that Twitter's action was right. So it's not. I think it's difficult to justify Twitter and blame the president, because you're going to be using the same law and applying it differently to different people. And I think that's bad. For me, I think the question Twitter needs to answer, and I think is the same way it's consistency, right? Is question of, do you want to be a platform or a publisher? That's the question Twitter needs to answer. Do you want to be a platform or do you want to be a publisher? If you want to be a platform, it means that you are not responsible for the content on your platform. Yeah, absolutely not responsible. It's none of your business. It's just a platform that people say what they want to say and act the way they want to act. That's all. Or do you want to be a publisher where you are like Smooth FM, where you are regulating the things that come out from your platform? If that's the action that Twitter wants to take, then it has to be. But I think what it's trying to do is to be a platform. No, is to be a publisher, but have the freedom of a platform, which is not going to be possible, right? And I think it's just that difficult thing. So the question of whether Twitter has the right to remove tweets or regulate speech, as the case might be, is a publisher's question, right? The publisher's question. And I think that yes, Twitter needs to just answer where do I want to really be, right? And of course, you can't be the judge and the jury, in some of these things, because you can tweet something and I feel offended about it. Will Twitter remove it because I'm offended? Right? You might say something and then someone else feels offended about it, right? I mean, let's use the N word in the US. If a black person says nigger, it's not offensive. If a white person says nigger, it's offensive. So how would you start regulating, some of these, speeches? So I think that Twitter needs to just decide where down to sit in the divide, right? And then of course wait for the law to catch up with, with what it is. But that's what I think, anyways.
Fantastic. So what do you now think of the, by the way, I disagree with you, but if I now disagree, we'll take on this whole topic on the show. But what do you think of the NBC, the Broadcasting Commission, who, shout out to the NBC, when I came downstairs at Smooth FM on Wednesday, they handed me a letter to give to our general manager about not using Twitter anymore. I know they are listening. But the NBC put out a advertorial in the newspaper saying that all online broadcast platforms and social media should now be licensed. What do you make of that move from the NBC?
I think it's difficult. I mean, number one, there's no law backing that up first. So it's just, an advertorial, which is, again, difficult to determine what the position of the law is regarding such regulations, right? I think that we need to be careful around social media because the law has not caught up with social media yet, not even in the US, not even in most developed places, right? The laws available are for traditional media, for TV, for radio, for all of those. But social media is still difficult because the laws have not caught up with it. So what can you say? What can you not say? How do you, and it's difficult to regulate. And I think that's where the real problem is, because nobody's going to agree on the modus operandi of how, these things should be regulated, because everybody has their own, views about what is right and what is wrong. Because there's, again, the left have made us understand that there's no right or wrong. Again, it's about everything shades of gray, right? So how do you determine the darkest shade of gray to regulate and the lighter shade of gray to allow to pass, right? So I think that's where the biggest problem is. And I don't think that's also the problem only in Nigeria, right? Even in the US, I can count since over the last 4 years, no, even maybe 8 years, the number of times that they've had congressional hearings, with Mark Zuckerberg, with Jack of Twitter, with everybody, right, about how their platform is being used, what people are saying, so people are having conversation on how best to regulate, social media. So that's in the US, but in Nigeria, I mean, our typical ways, right? We don't have conversations. We just, hand down rules, right? So I think that's what the US, I mean, that's what Nigeria is doing, handing down rules. But of course, it means that you want Twitter to be registered in Nigeria. It won't happen, right? You want Facebook to register in Nigeria? No, it won't happen. Even Nigerian companies, even Nigerian tech startups are not registering in Nigeria, right? So why should I? Why will I? Right? And of course, an internet thing. Except, of course, now want to start regulating internet, which is where the direction is going to, right? So, okay, yes, I'm going to block your access, to do some of these things. And of course, it's not strange because China is doing it, right? So it's not like it's new to the world, right? But of course, we know China has some of the worst, human rights, records, in the world, press freedom, religious freedom. I mean, even the billionaire Jack Ma was not spared, from the Chinese routes, right? So I think that's where the Nigerian government is going to. But of course, if you want to follow the China line, they don't remember that China brought over 1 billion people out of poverty. That is not part of the conversation that they're having. It's just like, oh, okay, China is blocking internet. We're going to block internet too. So again, it's just Nigeria's way. So I think that's just shameful and sad. So what do I think of the NBC regulation? Good luck with them. I mean, I'm not doing out Twitter, so let's go and find out how they're going to enforce Twitter, registering in Nigeria and seeing that happen.
Very quickly, I also need to get your thoughts in a minute or two on the central bank digital currency. They announced yesterday at a virtual bankers forum, which I thought was very apt that they announced it at a virtual forum. By the end of this year, it took me by surprise. They've been looking at this for like 2 years. What do you make of the central bank wanting to issue a digital currency by the end of 2021?
I mean, I think we'll just have to wait to see if it's just one of those things that they say, or if it's what is possible, right? Because this is the same government has been trying so hard, to kill digital currency, restricting, wallets, restricting exchanges, restricting banks from participating in the cryptocurrency world, right? Doing all possible to ensure that, yes, the space, and then of course, people are figuring a way to work without them, like P2P transactions and all that thing. And then the same person says that, okay, this thing is illegal, this thing should not be used, banks should not touch it, sexing, all the things they've said. now showed up to say, okay, yeah, okay, well, we are going to issue our own digital currency. Like, okay, this is strange,
but,
right?
But China, but it's different now. Digital currency is separate from Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies now. It's the central bank currency. The central bank, they're distancing themselves from, it has nothing to do with Bitcoin. It has completely.
Bitcoin is a digital currency. No, Bitcoin is a digital currency. It's cryptocurrency.
Okay, technically, yes, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. So if there's, except in fact, if you want to even issue a stable coin, there's a stable coin for the Naira already, NGNT, right? It's already a stable coin, created by for the Naira already. So I'm just saying that it's strange, right? So I think it's just one of those things that the president will say. I mean, okay, so imagine the president saying that, yes, we want to feed 9 billion people, and nobody's talking about, building more schools or recruiting teachers. So it's just one of those strange things that happen in Nigeria that, okay, you just have to wait to see.
But the US is exploring, but China has done the same. China has banned Bitcoin and so on from their banks, but China is already testing a digital currency. Other countries are doing it. So,
El Salvador just allowed, cryptocurrency to be a currency. So again.
All right, so I have to come in here because we have a few more minutes and we have tons of comments. Okay, no, we'll have a number of comments come through. So let's listen to the people. So Ogo says that he thinks Fisayo is trumping on it. D from Alausa says, well done, Fisayo, impartial and unbiased in terms of your views. Funshaw says Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram are all voluntary applications. How can the government regulate it? China has its own alternatives, says Daniel. Can the government force big techs to register in Nigeria? Also, if the government is going after big techs, why not go after the biggest of them all, like the Apples of this world? Okay, I slow down. Right, so Ogeno Chuko says, my major worry about the president's speech was the area of grazing reserve policy, which to me is archaic. We should be applying technology with regards to agriculture and fighting crime. Topper from Lagos says, Fisayo, the president's tweet was reported by many Nigerians to have violated community rules. This is not the case where Twitter was the judge. And then, dear Fisayo, hold on, Radio Mouth from Calgary says 10 crates of something we won't mention now, but says Rotus will never agree with this Fisayo's unpopular opinion, or mostly because the government's decision affects his pockets. Let's
never
not with the baby water. And then I from Ikoyi says, can't agree with Fisayo here. Platform or publisher, I'd like to think if millions of users of a particular product react with concerns, would you as creator not move to rectify those concerns? I understand it's not cut and dry, but come on. Wow, okay, just a few more. I think, Rotus, do you have any more stories? Because we will take comments for
take the messages. Take us home.
Oladele from Aja says, hello, news analysts. The president should know that he was elected and Nigeria isn't his property. It's a position, a privilege for him. And then we have Daniel saying, you want to follow China's way. Okay, quoting Fisayo, that's a classic quote, without thinking of how to take people out of poverty. Goke from UK says, social media platforms have rules and algorithms. If I tweet, I am happy and people report it, then it's automatically deleted. Not quite. I think the way I know,
they study it.
Yeah, they check if it violates any of their rules, and they would actually give you feedback as a reporter that, oh, we didn't see this to violate our rules. Bodukwe says, can you give an example of a platform that does absolutely no regulation of content and allows everything, including adult, religious, racist content with absolutely no moderation? Because
thank you.
And I actually checked. Frank says, cryptos are not digital currencies. Who made it a legal tender? And then Matthew Afalabi says, I don't think there's anything wrong with the president's statements. There are a lot of answers. Okay, and Mazi's post that contained a lot of acerbic words. I think a lot of people reported the president's post and Twitter removed it. Nevertheless, the federal government shouldn't have banned Twitter. The system of government in China is different from what we have here. And I think that's a good place to end the conversation today, because we would go on and on and on, and it's already 6:45. Thank you.
Give us 15 minutes. I need to address all
exactly. No, you know what?
No, please. Thank you. You're about to start another debate. We've been doing this all week. We're still going to talk about it while we're analyzing the president's interview later today on Freshly Pressed 91. But a big thank you to Fisayo. Fisayo, yes. Twitter. Were you not asking me to share a Twitter handle? No more
Follow me on
Twitter.
Twitter. I don't know this stuff.
I hear cool is the new one. Oh, I thank you so much, Rotus. Have a wonderful
Thank you. Thanks, Fisayo.
and thanks to all our listeners. Oh, I didn't even go on YouTube. Thanks to all our YouTube viewers and everyone who's commented on WhatsApp. Have a lovely weekend. We continue the conversation at 7:30 during Freshly Pressed 981. This is where we also delve into we're going to analyze the president's interview, just a few salient points he made, and just like Fisayo alluded to, some of the things that some people are not quite happy with, and some people have commented already. So join me at 7:30. We'll have our analysts do justice to that. And then at 8:15, we have the Locker Room 981. It's still Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. Focus on the Nigerian economy. Thank you all so much for joining. Have a wonderful day.